Today I wanted to educate some of you on drywall repair, remodeling. There is a scam going on in the world of drywall tape. This would be tape that is used for both remodeling and new projects. Now this room that I am showing you was a room that was added on to this house a few years ago, and every seam in the ceiling cracked, and I want to show you why. The tape that is being sold in many of the mega remodeling stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, and I'm sure many other, is faulty and should not even be on the market. I'm not blaming Lowe's or Home Depot for this, but the companies that make these mesh tapes, I wish somebody would bring a class action suit against them because it is ineffective, and this is what happens after time. Now I have torn out all of these seams here for the reason I'm getting ready to show you. Every 4 feet there are cracks in this ceiling. This is the next 4-foot span from this seam here. These cracks will go all the way across the ceiling. And the reason that they do this is because the mesh tape that they sell is made of a cloth type material that the drywall material that is put on top of it cannot bind to, and they fight against each other. And what happens over time, it does not happen in every situation, but it happens in so many of them. I don't know how many repair jobs we have done here recently where we have dealt with the same thing. People want to know why this thing is cracked. They just had this redone a while ago. So what happens is that the material that's put on top of this mesh tape, it eventually begins to give way. There's nothing to bind together with the tape. It's not the fault of the material on top of the tape. It is the tape itself. And it gives way. It usually cracks right on the drywall joint itself. And then there's this kind of problem that we have now. I'm going to show you here in a minute exactly how this stuff peels off, and then I'm going to show you the solution. And those who would like to do something about it, if they feel to, you've got a definite case here. Now I am going to, the only way to cure this is to cut the actual crack where the tape is sitting on the joint. That's where it begins. And then you have to actually go in and you have to rip out the tape itself. Once that's been ripped out, then you can start from scratch where the joint actually meets together. The two drywall joints meet together. Now there is another tape that we use, and I do not own stock in this company. I'm not pushing it because of that. This is actually a blue mesh fiberglass tape. It is, I believe it's 2.5 inches wide. You can see the name of it. It is called fiber tape. That is because it is fiberglass mesh. It is not like the cloth garbage, the yellow stuff and the white stuff that they sell at Home Depot and Lowe's, all of these other places. This is the only tape that is going to work properly on these kind of joints. And I will tell you this, that even with this tape, you have to use a time set material. We use a material called Drywall, which is a time set material, not the easy sand. Anything that you have to sand that you put on here that dries by the air that you have to sand is not going to work effectively with this either. We put this on, we use the hard set Drywall over it, and then we work it, and we have never had a problem with cracking like this. Never one time. Now, unfortunately, this tape in our area here in the Metro Detroit area can only be found on the shelf in one store, and that is Menards. And again, I'm not pushing Menards. I don't own stock in Menards. But Menards is the only store that carries this particular tape. Home Depot is supposed to be a supplier, but you have to special order it in large quantities. And there's probably a few other stores in our area that would carry this fiber tape brand that are individual stores. That we have some plaster and drywall stores, a couple of them that still remain in our area. I just want to tell you right now that if you're having trouble with somebody who came in and did some repair work for you or remodeling work, and you've got cracks in your ceiling that are straight cracks, they look like hairline cracks almost, and they'll go the full length of the drywall joint itself. They're always right on the joint where the tape is. This is the reason why. And if you or some of the people who might have the same problems going on would get together and if you want to take legal action, I would not discourage you from doing that. Not against the suppliers, but against the people who actually manufacture the stuff, because there's a lot of deception. Unfortunately, the people who work at Home Depot and Lowe's, when you go into that store and ask them what kind of tape should I use, whether you're a homeowner or someone who works in this field, because a lot of so-called, and I'm putting quotes up right now, professionals use the same garbage and tell people that, oh, you're getting a higher quality material here that I am using to finish your drywall job. And this is what happens a few years down the road, 2, 3. It don't always take very long for the stuff to begin to open up here. So if you'd like, anybody who's sick and tired of this because you paid a lot of money, as these people did, to have this edition put on and end up with this a few years later, and now have to pay a lot of money for us to come in and fix what should have been done right the first time, maybe you want to consider pursuing something from a legal standpoint. That's up to you. I'd go for the manufacturer of the yellow and the white tapes that are sold on the shelves of these stores. Find out who the manufacturer is and take it from that standpoint, because we enjoy the work. I mean, it's money in our pocket coming back to fix somebody else's mistake, but we'd rather just spend our time doing regular repair work from as a result of water damage or remodeling work, as opposed to coming back and having to redo somebody else's job who did it incorrectly the first time. So just a little bit of information there from a guy who's been doing this for 40 years now, and who knows what you should be using, what you shouldn't be using. Hope this helps some of you.